Here we are, often anticipated, never duplicated, segment number 3 with Mike Zuber from One Renter at a Time. Mike, I know you're doing awesome, but tell everybody how you're doing.
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Every day is Saturday. It's awesome.
It's always good. So, question that you and I get all the time: what do you do when you first buy the property? You've now closed, you've walked out of the closing, and this, let's say, duplex has tenants. What is the first thing that you do?
Yeah. So the first thing, obviously, it starts actually before you close, you get what's called a tenant estoppel, which basically means the owner and the sellers agree to what current rent is and the actual deposit made. That is something I will not close on because I don't want to assume any responsibility for he said, she said. So that is really where it starts. Make sure you get a tenant estoppel that is signed by both parties. Once closed, then my property manager will go in the day of or the day after and have a tenant meeting, right? Make sure the lease is correct. We will get them on our lease. We will run them through our entire criteria again, just so we know what we have. Obviously, the lease that they have is in force, right? Whether it's, certainly if they're in the year period or if they've gone to month, the existing lease will take precedent. But we want to know what we've got. It is shocking how many times you take over a property and you know what, there is an extra adult there. Maybe pets have shown up that wasn't on the lease. These are all things that we want to have. In addition to that, we go in and ask questions like anything that's been broken or not working or not functioning correctly, any safety concerns, and, have there been leaks that the past owner has painted over that we should really go. We want to, you live here. We are not like, I always assume the seller lied to me. And I always assume the seller has hidden stuff from me. It's amazing how many times I walk through and they're like, oh, it smells like paint in here. I wonder why, right? Why is the roof painted? I wonder if there was a leak there, right? And of course there's never a leak. But so we asked the tenants those questions. So that happens within the first 48 hours. And if there are any issues, we show them that we are different than other landlords. We will dispatch repairmen immediately. That will jump to the front of the line for repairs because we want to show the best foot forward. So those are the things that will happen every time.
Now, so one of the things, so now let's talk about something maybe a little bit larger of a building.
Okay.
Which is a little bit more challenging. It's that process largely, but now, so I just closed on a 12 unit.
Yeah.
I created a nice letter, 1 page.
Yep.
And because I didn't have everybody's cell phone numbers or emails, which next time I will do up front, I will have that part of closing. That was a mistake.
Estoppel. Yeah.
Yep. So I posted a letter on every single person's door.
Sure. I've done that or slid it under the door or whatever. Yep.
So introducing ourselves, talking about the fact that we do own other units. And so we have crews and people in place that can come fix things. Here are the 5 things that are most common that we see. Please let us know if you have any of these things. It was all the stuff that's associated with big dollars, dripping faucets, dripping tubs, leaks, electrical issues, all of those types of things. And then we also talk about the fact too of please take the top 2 or 3 items there out of that list, or if it's not on that list, please list out the top 2 or 3 items and let us know what they are. Email us this, email us your cell phone information and email us. And obviously we'll have your email when you email us.
Yeah.
Amazingly, I am now a week into owning this property and only 6 people have responded.
Yeah.
6 people have responded. So this is one of the things when we talk to a lot of folks about buying property, we need to give them the tools right when they walk out of closing. What is it that I do next? Because now you're a property owner, now your journey really begins.
Yeah. So something we've done when we buy bigger buildings, so like 10, 18s, 20 is the biggest we've bought, is we do the letter idea as well. So that we've done that. But one thing we did in our letter is we said, we're going to have I don't know what it was called. I'll say open house because it's escaping me. Maybe a Saturday barbecue or something.
Got it.
We had a Saturday event and literally was, I don't know if it was a barbecue, but we did something because we want to meet them, right? We haven't really met them. And again, we're tracking like, okay, who are you? What unit are you in? Okay, great. And we know going in what we know and what we don't know about each unit. Our goal is almost make that look like bingo, right? We just fill it out. And I think that a couple of times we have done this over the years, We usually get to about 85% kind of complete after, on the door, and then the weekend event. And then the other one is just, we've actually had a couple of times, like what's going on with unit C or unit 3 or whatever it is, right? And we ask the neighbors, and they're like, "Oh, we haven't seen Mary in 6 months," right? And we're like, "Okay, well, we're going to post a notice to enter, right? 48 hours or whatever the rules are in your area." And it's amazing how many times, like I remember one time in particular, Mary in this example, not a real name. She was living with her boyfriend, but she was on Section 8, and Section 8 paid the rent 100%. So she basically had a crash pad if she ever broke up with her boyfriend and didn't want to give it up. So it's amazing those things that you could find. So we don't want it. My intention is never to invade privacy. It's not my thing, right? It's once you pay your rent, it's yours, right? But we've had to do that a couple of times, and that Mary example is one that came to mind. It's like, wow, what do we do? So we had to go track down Mary and have a discussion with her. We told her that we would report her to Section 8 because that was not cool. Right. That's not what Section 8 is supposed to be about. So lo and behold, in that example, Mary moved back.
What was in taking over a new building? What was the biggest surprise that you ever got in taking over a new building that you didn't account for in the closing or in process? Because all these processes came about because you probably went through something. So what was the thing that really sticks in your mind that was like, that can never happen?
I remember I bought an 18 unit building, all single story. So it was spread out. It was I think it was 6 total buildings. It was like three, so that's 12 and 3, right? So yeah, it was like, they're all 3 units. And then between the buildings were carports. So it was really a long roof. And I remember walking through that building with Olivia. It was the building that had all the big screen TVs I've talked about a couple of times.
Okay, sure.
Right. The tenants had all big screen TVs and we have a little one, right? So I've talked about the building before. But what got us was they had just painted the insides. And that's where I cracked. All of them. Okay. That's why I cracked the joke about, the owner painted the ceilings. It turns out that we had to spend about $40,000 that first 12 months on roofs.
Oh,
yeah. But and again, another error I've made is I tried to Band-Aid it because again, that's what I thought you did. Mm-hmm. And ultimately the Band-Aids never held and there were leaks everywhere. And yeah, that sucked.
Mm-hmm. What could you have done aside from being perceptive, right?
Yeah.
Because
now I see that I call a roofer.
Yeah.
I didn't have a roof inspection because again, it looked good, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I'm looking at, right? I'm seeing like this much of the roof and, I was stupid.
Happens to us all, Mike.
Yeah.
See video
too.
So yeah, Mike, I mean, again, this is one of those things where you've done such an amazing job with taking people through finding the property, getting the property, closing the property. Okay, now I own it. Now what? Yeah. Now I'm walking from the closing table. I'm a landlord. I am super excited. I'm doing a jig in the driveway.
Yeah, I've been there.
But what do I do now? So I think, guys, this is a fantastic approach, getting the letter. If it's a bigger building, doing like the barbecue thing, but this is an amazing approach to making sure that you get that first month's rent check.
Yeah.
And making sure that you're not, that a problem that is a real issue has been covered up. Because I'm finding that now, thankfully I knew about them. But the landlord that sold this building to me still had covered some things up.
Oh yeah.
But I knew going in, I was like, I know he's covering this up. I know this is gonna be a problem for me. And that's what I took with my number in mind. Cool. So Mike, where can everybody find you, my friend?
One rental at a time, books, website, YouTube.
Yeah. Watch the course, guys. I'm telling you, it's like 80 something hours now. Yeah. I haven't gotten through all of it, but I'm telling you, there's absolutely, you can learn from every single portion of that course, every single portion. Yeah. And then just pick which one you want to be your game. Right?
There you go.
Based on your market, based on your understanding, that's where you want to be. So we always try to create amazing content for you. We thank you guys for watching us today and listening to us on the podcast. Thank you very much. Again, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time this Sunday after One Rental at a Time's daily financial news. We will be doing a 3-hour question and answer session as a live stream this Sunday. Mike, again, thanks for all your time again this week. Have an awesome weekend. And everyone, thanks so much for watching. Take care, everybody.